Good morning. So you say you want to be a YouTuber. Well, there's a lot more to it than just taking your phone and sticking a mic on top of it and shooting video. Stick around and I'm going to fill you in on what we use to shoot herons on the fly on any given day. There's more to shooting YouTube videos than just putting a mic on top of your camera or on top of your phone and taking pictures or shooting video. There are a lot of specific tools that you need to do different jobs. Action cameras like these little Akasos or GoPros for action sequences, and you can make them wider or narrower. A lot of things with the case on them. You can get them wet, take them underwater. If you're a talking head, you're probably going to want to have some sort of a cinema rig that you can put on a tripod, and there's a variety of heads that you can set, whether it's a pan head or a ball head, or any variety, a number of things that you can use for that. If you want aerial footage, well, you're probably going to want to shoot with a drone. If you're going to be walking around and taking video, something like this little DJI Osmo Pocket 2 is really nice. It's got a gimbal on the top and gives you real nice steady footage. Everything that you could possibly use needs to have the ability to control vibration, movement, because when you walk, you'll have a tendency for the film to move up and down. And if you're flying a drone, you can get side-to-side movement, or you can be off horizon, off axis on the horizon. When you're on a tripod, not so much. You're good to go there. And you're probably going to want to add a few stills, so you got to go back to either a mirrorless or a DSLR to shoot those. All these tools are really important to shooting whatever you're going to do, and depending on what you're going to do. If you're going to be fishing, you might want something light that you can mount on your boat. If you're going to be hiking, you might want something that you can put on the center of your chest. So like sometimes an action camera is good. Those beautiful overhead shots that you can get with the drone are awesome. But with the drone, just like any of the rest of these cameras, because of sunlight, and if you're shooting at 30 frames per second, then you're looking at, okay, that means I've got the shutter open 1/60th of a second, and so that's going to be pretty bright. So what you need to do is you're going to have to use neutral density filters to adjust for that sun. If that isn't enough, if your subject that you're shooting is maybe a little older, and you want to take out some of the wrinkles or imperfections in their face or in their hands or whatever, you can shoot with a black mist filter, which sort of smooths those pictures out and actually takes away a few years, because, well, none of us is getting any younger. But as far as GoPros go, you can get away with some of the other brands, the Osmo Action, the DJI Osmo Action, the Akaso Brave, or the Akaso 7, which are nice little cameras. This is without a doubt one of the best little cameras I've ever used. It shoots incredible video, and it'll shoot up to 4K. Now, most everything we do is going to be in 1080p, because when you upload to YouTube, everything is squashed down, and 1080 is about all you're going to get out of it. And the same thing with even the big camera. You want to shoot in 1080p, 30 frames a second, 1/60th of a second for a shutter speed. Now, still cameras, you can just do a regular exposure, you know, in camera and set it for whatever to give you a good picture. And it's the same thing with the drone. You want to set it up at 1080p, and the other thing is uploading your video. If you have these big 4K files and you try and upload it, you're going to be there forever. So you need a good source to be able to upload video. And that's just a few of the things that we do with our cameras to shoot all the different sequences, whether it's birding, whether it's fishing, no matter what it is. Even right now, Glenda is shooting me with my Samsung Ultra 22, which is a great camera, but you know, she's shooting all this video through that camera. And if you'll hang on just a minute, we've got a few other things to add. We're going to go to stills, and then we're going to go to sound, and because sound is a really big part of this. So stick around and we'll be right back. Since I'm an old still photographer, we do carry a lot of lenses. On the video camera, the bigger one, the Nikon Z6, I'm running a 50mm prime, and that does a great job. The nifty 50, like they call it. Since Glenda does a lot of birding, we run this bad boy. This is a 300 to 500mm telephoto. We have a 400mm telephoto. Then we have the 70 to 200 telephoto f2.8, the 24 to 70 f2.8, and the 10 by 24 f2.8. These are all fantastic still lenses. Now we can use this guy on the Z6. We actually have an adapter that we can put this on the Z6. I suppose we could use this too. I've never done that, but I'm sure you could. They all take great pictures, and I've also calibrated all the lenses to the camera bodies. We take a D700 and a D810. The D700 is 12 megapixels. You don't need a ton of megapixels to get great still pictures. And the D810 is 36.3 megapixels. It gives us a lot more, and there's times when we want that sort of definition when we shoot. So this is the lineup, and what we use here is based on what our needs are going to be for the still photography portion of our YouTube, because you actually add still pictures in your YouTube videos. At least we do. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and not least of which is audio. And audio is one of the more challenging things that you have to work with. One microphone doesn't work for everything. They all have different ways of picking up sound. You certainly are going to need a set of lavalier mics. We shoot with the little Comicas, and there's a transmitter, a couple of transmitters, and a receiver. And you plug this into the Tascam Portacapture 8, and we plug this into the camera. Like right now, we're plugged into the camera. I don't run off of batteries in the Portacapture 8. I actually have a battery pack that we power that with, because sometimes you're going to need to power for an extended period of time. Some microphones have what's known as phantom power, and that's 48 volts, and you can get that from the Portacapture 8, and you can run that through your XLR mics. And so yeah, the next thing is you're going to need a good shotgun mic, and you can spend ridiculous amounts of money on shotgun microphones, but one of the things that we've learned is the Comica name seems to work well for us. It has a low pass filter. You power these things. You can store energy in them, and they come with a little fuzzy head, and they've got a nice firm mount that you can put on your camera. It's a cold shoe mount. Then for when you're using the phone or something like that, or you're using a camera even, you can use a little Sennheiser microphones. These things are really, really good. They produce excellent sound. Now, we started with a Rhodes. This is a little Rhodes, the little Rhodes, and when you put it in the mount, it's flimsy, and so this thing got in the way of more pictures than I can even begin to tell you. So that isn't going to work for us. And then this guy is, of course, isn't powered, doesn't have a battery in it. You plug it in, and you hope you remember that you turned everything on. If you didn't, well, that doesn't work either. And it's a little small shotgun mic, and it's not really all that either. So yeah, that didn't work for us either. So we finally got it down to the Sennheiser, the Comica shotgun microphone, and the lavalier. You're wearing a lavalier? Think of a bubble in front of your face. That's what it's gonna pick up. Shotgun microphone is just what it is. It picks up stuff out in the front. It takes out the sound on the sides, and it does pick up some sound from behind. And so consequently, you'll get, a lot of times you'll get echo when you're using these things if you're in a room. This is a small shotgun microphone, this little Sennheiser, but it's got a great little screen and a great little fuzzy there, and it does a great job. It really does. Now, if my assistant will tilt the camera up, you'll see what we have above us. There you go. Up here is an Audio-Technica, and this is on a boom, and this only picks up, for the most part, will pick up sound that comes out like this. Rule of thumb is you want to be about this far away from talking into that microphone. Fantastic microphone, great sound, and so that's why we use that for our talking head videos. And of course, with the boom and everything else, you're going to need a ton of cable, like everything else. So this is what we use for our sound setup. All right. Well, this little erector set that I have in front of me here is a variety of mounts that we use. The one thing that's not here is a good tripod. I use a Manfrotto 190, and that's actually what the camera is sitting on that we're shooting this video with. But I can show you some of the other stuff. This is a monopod. This is truly one of those invaluable tools that you need to have. Of course, it extends out, and we put some of these other mounts on there, like this guy, and yeah, so monopod must have. And then for the Osmo Pocket, you have to be able to put your phone in. You're going to need a place for a microphone, so there's a cold shoe, and then your Osmo Pocket fits here. And so you can walk around with your phone, your Osmo Pocket, and you can see what you're doing, what you're videoing on the phone. And it's all one piece. This is one of the coolest little tools, and certainly is well worth the money. The next thing is a little trickier. This is a gimbal, and one of the reasons why you want this, if you're going to shoot with a GoPro, a small mirrorless camera, or the Osmo Pocket, or your phone, or whatever, let's say, and you need something to stabilize the video, because when you walk and you're holding a camera as you're walking, the footage has a tendency to do this, and this gimbal will help with that in a large way, and does an excellent job. Now, when Glenda's out birding, she takes that big lens that we were just talking about a few minutes ago, and she puts it in a gimbal like this. It loosens up, it rotates like this, and then this cradle rotates like that, and it does a fantastic job. It really does. So you can swing it up if you got a bird going up, and instead of using a tripod with this, although you can, we'll screw this into the monopod, and then she'll carry the whole thing, that big lens and everything, put it on her shoulder and carry it around. When she sees something that she wants to take a picture of, she can quick pull this out, drop it down, get the bird in focus, and make the shot. So that's a really neat thing, the way that works. And then the last thing is a pan head. This is used for the Z6, and I have an Arca Swiss plate that I have on the bottom of the Z6, fits in here, and it basically moves like this, and it'll move up and down. Real important to have a decent pan head. And all this stuff is basically has to do with the weight of your rig. It's just like this ball head. It's based on the weight of the rig. It can handle large lenses, but it has a tendency to go every direction. So you need to get it where you want it, and then pretty much lock it down so it doesn't move. But these are all the basic mounts that I use. Like I said, I carry a tripod. We also have some light stands and a few other odds and ends that we use because we shoot action, we shoot hikes, we shoot fishing videos, we shoot birding videos, and so yeah, we need a lot of different odds and ends to make this work. And one more thing, if you have any questions about any of this gear, leave some questions in the comments. If depending on the question, we may do a follow-up video, but we certainly would be more than glad to answer any of your questions. We use basically Comica and Sennheiser microphones. We use a Tascam Portacapture 8 for our audio recorder. We use Nikon cameras and Nikon lenses, and we use DJI products. They seem to do a great job. And we also use Akaso for our action cameras. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask and drop them in the comments. Wow, that was a lot of stuff, wasn't it? And like, the only way I've been able to accumulate all this stuff is every time I turn around, I'm looking at Glenda and I'm going, no, honestly, this is the last thing I need. And hopefully it will be the last thing that I need. Buy good gear, buy it with a specific reason in mind. If you don't need it, don't get gear crazy and buy it. Whatever type of video you're going to shoot, buy the gear that you'll need for that video. Put your money in glass, that's lenses, and put your money in good audio equipment, because if the video isn't good and the audio isn't good, people aren't going to want to watch it. And you should be well lit as well, whether you're using the light from a window, whether you're using an LED light, or you're using natural light outside. Just remember that lighting, sound, and being in focus is important, and the subject material needs to be, you know, timely. It needs to be what you actually do use, or what you're talking about. Script it a little bit. Have something in mind before you start out, and have fun when you're shooting it, you know? It doesn't hurt to look right into the camera lens and smile. I think that's one of the best things you can do. And as always, like, share, and subscribe, because we are Herons on the Fly. We'll see you next time.